This week we're going to try something new. It's a weekly wrap that we do each week here in Nashville, Tennessee. The weekly wrap comes from what we have done legislative-wise here. Right now we're in the Cordell Hull building on the 4th floor, and with that I'm going to share with you the first weekly wrap that has come out with the help of the press secretary, all of that, some of the things that you get to see when you walk these halls. An example, the picture behind me, but also the awesome view in front of me, which is the Capitol. And let me turn the camera and see if we can get a good picture of that. And so this is where my office is located, on the 4th floor in room 402. And let's sit back, relax. Let's talk about the weekly wrap that we've had. And I'll be having these come weekly from different locations. So let's see what has been accomplished this week. The weekly wrap for January 11th, 2019. The 111th General Assembly convenes. Lawmakers officially sworn in. The 111th General Assembly officially convened this week in Nashville. Since 1979, the General Assembly has convened on the second Tuesday in January for an organizational session. This session always takes place in an odd-numbered year and cannot last more than 15 calendar days. Therefore, the General Assembly sets the date for convening the regular session. The Constitution provides that the legislature can meet 90 legislative days in regular session over the 2-year assembly period. On Tuesday, January 8th, all General Assembly members of the legislature was sworn in, taking the oath of office. A new era begins in the House with election of Speaker Cassada, Speaker Pro Tem Dunn. A new era in the Tennessee House of Representatives officially began as retiring House Speaker Beth Harwell officially handed the gavel over to the new Tennessee House Speaker Glenn Cassada. Tuesday, after Speaker Cassada was nominated and elected by lawmakers to lead the House during the 111th General Assembly, during his remarks to members, Speaker Cassada thanked his colleagues for the tremendous honor bestowed upon him. He also recognized Speaker Harwell for her 30 years of service within our General Assembly, calling her tenure one defined by integrity and distinction. Additionally, Cassada told new members that serving in this distinguished leadership capacity was a privilege and a responsibility few Tennesseans will ever experience. It is also one he will never take for granted. Finally, Cassada called for everyone to come together to tackle the great task of governing, and he pledged to uphold the legacies, traditions, and responsibilities given while keeping them firmly intact for the next generation of our citizens. Following the election of the new Speaker, lawmakers nominated and elected Representative Bill Dunn. For this position of Speaker Pro Tem, Dunn is the longest-serving member of the House Republican Caucus, having first been elected to the Tennessee House in 1994. Speaker Pro Tem Dunn previously served as the House Minority Leader and also held several committee chairmanships through his time in our General Assembly. New House Speaker leadership for the 111th Tennessee General Assembly also included House Majority Leader William Lamberth, House Republican Caucus Chairman Cameron Sexton, Assistant Majority Leader Ron Gant, Republican Whip Rick Tillis, Republican Floor Leader Paul Sherrill, Assisted Floor Leader Chris Todd, Republican Caucus Vice Chairman Brandon Ogles, Republican Caucus Secretary Clay Doggett, and Republican Caucus Treasurer Mark Cochran. State Representative Michael Curcio, State Representative Martin Daniels, State Representative Pat Marsh, State Representative Bill Sanders, State Representative Ron Travis, and State Representative Mark White will also serve on the Fiscal Review Committee. Tennessee's constitutional officers re-elected. On Wednesday, the House and Senate went into a joint session to elect Tennessee's 3 constitutional officers, the State Treasurer and the Comptroller of the Treasury. Members nominated and re-elected State Comptroller Justin P. Wilson and State Treasurer David H. Lillard, Jr. Both were elected by General Assembly members to 2-year terms. As Treasurer, Lillard oversees state investments such as pensions funds and also manages State Employees Benefits Program. Comptroller Wilson is responsible for auditing state and local government entities and takes part in managing the state government's finances and administration. Secretary of State Trey Hargett will continue in his role as Chief Executive Officer of the Department of State. Secretary Hargett was reelected to this office by the General Assembly in 2017. The services and oversight found in the Secretary of State's office reach every department and agency within state government. What's ahead during the 2019 legislative session? With the 2019 legislative session officially underway, House Republicans will continue to focus on common sense initiatives that will ensure Tennessee continues to lead the nation. In recent years, Republican leaders have supported the creation of more than 400,000 new jobs. Statewide unemployment remains near record low levels, and we have the lowest debt and taxes of any state in the entire nation. The Republican-led General Assembly will continue to focus on cutting taxes and eliminating burdensome regulations that hinder job growth and economic opportunity in communities across our state. Our students are the fastest improving in the entire nation across math, reading, and science. House Republicans will further invest in our teachers and schools because they are critical in shaping our future leaders. Additionally, every child must have the opportunity to achieve their academic goals in safe, excellent schools. Republican lawmakers will continue to improve safety for students, teachers, and staff during school hours. They will also identify new solutions to increase access to work-based learning, vocational instruction, and technical training opportunities, especially in our rural communities. Criminal justice reform is also an important issue for the General Assembly this year. Republicans believe in a system of justice that meets present-day standards, not those of 30 years ago. This system must have fair sentencing and sentencing consistency. It must place an emphasis on preparing those who desire to re-enter society to become productive citizens. These modifications will further reduce statewide recidivism rates, save tax dollars, and improve safety within our communities. By creating initiative solutions to the address these and other complex issues, the efforts of Republican leaders will guarantee Tennessee remains the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you for watching and have a blessed day. Now I'm going to share with you the halls of the Cordell Hull building, but also with my office. It's interesting when you walk the halls. This is the 1921 General Assembly. It was the 62nd General Assembly. You can see how they dressed in those days. Certainly with that, we'll slowly pan and catch a view of the state capitol. It's kind of a rainy day today. Been having a lot of rain. It's my assistant's office area. And if you ever get a chance to stop in, want to say hello, or plan a schedule to come tour the Capitol, it's incredible history that takes place in the state of Tennessee, and your tax dollars are responsible for having us here talking about the legislation, passing the state's budget, and to keep everything in tip-top shape in the state of Tennessee.